Good morning. I'd like to call to order the Pasco County Board of County Commission meeting at 10 a.m. at this date of, somebody slipped a different sheet in on me and it gave me the wrong date, which I've been gone for 3 weeks and I could forget dates, but July 9th, I believe, is our date. So I'll have to get on my assistant about that. So, but welcome, and let's see where we're at here now. All right. Would you please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and the prayer?
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence, and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
District 2, Commissioner Waitman.
Present.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey. Here. District 4, Commissioner Yeager. Here. District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Here.
District 1, Chairman Oakley.
Here. Let it be known that we have a 5-member board here today, and we have a majority. So we're sitting here ready to take on business that we've been kind of put aside for a little vacation. So, all right.
I haven't had a vacation.
Do what?
I said I haven't had a vacation.
Oh, well, you stayed. Somebody had to work while we were off. So, but I've been gone 19 days. So if I'm a little off today, when you fly all night and don't sleep, it does affect you. So,
Yes,
but I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to get. We have a lot of good things happening in the county, and be glad to get them started back. So now's the time for public comment. Let's see my sheet. They messed my sheets up.
Mr. Chair, this is the correct script.
Oh, thank you. All right. Okay, public comment will be taken as follows. First, we will hear from public comment from those that are present, and we'll take public comment from those pre-registered on WebEx and currently on Q. We request that when you address the board, comments are directed not personally against a commissioner or a team member, but rather at the issues. This provides mutual respect for the members and the public. After stating your name and address for the clerk, a 3-minute timer will be activated. After 2 minutes, a single beep will go off, and meaning that you have 1 minute left. And at the end of that minute, 2 beeps will sound, and you should prepare to stop your comments. So, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up for public comment this morning?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have 6 individuals signed up for public comment. One has 2 different topics. So, Ms. Patricia Strobridge, if you would please approach the podium. And she has two different topics to talk on.
Okay.
Does that mean
She
we
has
get
3 minutes.
3 minutes each?
Yes.
No,
No?
She just has 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good morning. My name is Patricia Strobridge. You said my address is 4820 Steeldust Lane, Loops. Zip code is 33559.
Okay.
My biggest concern is that I'm part of a MSBU, and they said that we are going to be getting a repaving of the road tax. And then I tried to find something out about the repaving of the road tax, and I didn't find out. So, but I have some questions here that why y'all considering whatever you're going to do, if y'all would maybe think about these things here. So I'll just read them all. There's approximately how much per house, because I need the budget, and then about how many years would you pay that same amount? And then if you get all the roads in Pasco County paved, will there be kind of a warranty period that everything should be paved and going to stay for 5 or 10 or 15 years, and we not need the paving again, and then the tax should stop, and then when we need paving again, will the tax start, or will it just continue on? And then I thought we were getting gas tax money from the buying of gas to pave roads, and I hope that would be enough. And then, and this how much shortfall from the gas tax that we needed, gas tax plus the roads, because we have had some kind of governmental things, and then one money gets shifted over to the other thing. And then I hope that if y'all taking up a collection of money to pave the road, and I don't know what the letters are, something up tax unit, but maybe y'all could think about making it something of about 15% administrative, and then 85% of that money collected actually go for real paving of the roads. Because I know that you're gonna need administrative stuff to do, but if 90, a large percentage of the 85% I got on my paper for the blacktop and the bulldozers and whatever it does. And then also, is there gonna be a formula that so many miles of roads in Pasco County divided by so many households, and they're gonna pay certain amounts? Because that might get to be kind of funny because of where I live. And then will businesses pay the same? Will tourists pay? Will people living in an apartment pay the same? And would people living on a farm do the same? I live on a narrow street and it's in good shape, no sidewalks. I got a friend that lives on a beautifully wide street, and then and two sidewalks, large sidewalks on each side. Then I also drive on a street that have potholes. It's just pothole, pothole, pothole. They never really paved there. So those people are going to be needing a whole lot more streets and getting a whole lot more streets in the repaving plan, but then I will not. So I just want to kind of throw those kind of things in. And I just hope that we don't have repaving of the road tax forever, ever, ever, just keep paying and money just keeps going. And
You need to make sure you get to your second item.
Okay,
Because you only have 1 minute left.
I'm on the second page.
It's less
Okay,
than that.
my second item is MSBU. So we have an MSBU, and Pasco County knew we had an MSBU. Pasco County helped us get it. Pasco County helped us get the funds in and get the funds out. And now they're saying, but maybe we need to dissolve the MSBU. And maybe we need to dissolve the MSBU. And then I think, since they told us that those streets that we've been cutting and maintaining weren't even our streets. And so I would look to, if they weren't our streets and we cut them for 20 years and Pasco didn't cut them, maybe we should get about a 20% discount. And also the monies that we collected a big surplus in the first place, and then we collected just minimally amount of how much we needed to cut the grass per year. So if we get a refund, I hope the people who were in the MSBU for 10 years or more get the refund, not the people who were 10 years or less, because they actually didn't pay anything for the surplus.
Okay.
And those are my comments.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your comments. Your time is up. Mr. Cavallo, we got someone here that can speak to her. She needs a lot of answers, really.
And just in, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Do we have a fact sheet on our website about the MSBU? Because
So-
it would be answered.
Yeah,
All our
actually,
questions would be
let me
answered.
ask if the
Yes.
board wants, Joanna can kind of weigh in on our communications plan with that.
But do we have one online that we can send people to?
Okay.
We will get one
All
online?
right. Next person.
Yeah, we need
Yeah,
to.
we have an extensive communications plan for it, so it'll include email blasts, social media push, and it'll be on our website as well, amongst other
Okay.
things.
Next.
Okay. We have Gregory Smithwicks, I believe. I can't read the writing a little bit. And then Ron, followed by Ron Orchard.
Name and address for the clerk.
Hi, my name is Greg Smithwick. I live at 9305 Sterling Lane in Port Richey on the west side of the county.
Okay.
I come here today for a move that's going to surprise many of you, to say thank you for item C20 on the consent agenda, which is the purchase of the property on Grand Boulevard for a desperately needed singles homeless shelter. I thank you. It's an amazing start. It's a great thing. And I know that there are probably, some of you are probably getting negative feedback from members of the community about why this purchase, why this money, why are we paying for this? And I want to give you an argument to take back home with you, and that is the most expensive kind of intervention with a homeless person having a medical crisis is paramedics and first responders. The most expensive kind of response to someone having a mental health crisis living in the woods is our police forces, our sheriff's office, the municipal police forces. So there is a cost savings involved here. It's just going to take a number of years to develop, because as we save money in those primary emergency services responses to people who are legitimately having medical emergencies or crisis from living outdoors, we will begin to save money by engaging those people in services that are less expensive. That includes getting them on Medicaid or Medicare or disability so that they can receive services and funding that doesn't have to come from our emergency services budget. So I feel like that's the argument I would like you to take back to your constituents. that don't see the value in this. If they can't find the humanity value in it, they will see the cost savings. And it's a provable thing. It's easy to look up. Everywhere that's done housing first and low barrier shelters has seen this return on emergency services to other kinds of healthcare. So again, thank you for item C20. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ron Orchard, followed by P. Colin Rice.
Name and address for the clerk.
Sir. Good morning, name's Ron Orchard, 6719 Manor Beach Road, Newport Richey. I know some of you don't want to hear about this again, but it's about the Green Key Flood Project. This is about the land acquisition that we've been working on, that's been stalling the project, or at least that's what we're told, stalling the project for a while. There is a 10-foot easement on Manor Beach that we're proposed putting pipes through. The county's asking for a 30-foot easement to put 2 pipes through. The landowner is not agreeable to that because we're offering him, not we, but as a group, we're offering him $50,000 for the land. He's not willing to sell that land for the increased easement for that price. He is willing to leave the 10-foot, and we can work off the 10-foot to put pipes in. My question is to him, why can't we put these 2 pipes through that 10-foot easement rather than have to open it up to a great big 30-foot easement to work on it? It should be simple enough to do. We'd have to do some readjusting on the drainage issues to it, the collection basins on the road itself. We were told that the road would still, even without the adjustments of the 30-foot, the road would still be paved and raised. The raising of the road is a good idea because it will help, but it has to be done with the drainage included into it. The $21 million, or $2.1 million funded for this project has been approved for several years. It seems like we're dragging our feet on getting this started or completed. My question is, I'm wondering if this has been reallocated to another area because of the time frame, and we're waiting for that to be reimbursed to continue this project. It's been going on for overall from the beginning of this particular project, about 6 years, from the original drawings and stuff involved. Now we're down to this point here, they're telling us another year before anything even gets looked at to start.
You still have 1 minute.
We still need to get this going. We need to make some small adjustments, but it shouldn't put this off another year to get this accomplished. I did send this to this email, basically at the beginning, to Nathan Martin, who's the engineer on this project. This was sent back on June 22nd, trying to get some replies. I have not received any replies back yet on this. I'm just wondering how long do we have to wait for replies, and what can we do? How can we work to get this done? We work and complain for the people in this area. We want to see some action. We appreciate your time and help. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Brant is right there. He's very familiar with it. This is the project we had $2 million from the state on, so we are trying to get it done. But Branford, could you update him and listen to
Branford,
suggestions as well?
yeah. Thank you. Next.
P. Colin Rice, followed by Scott Black.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Colin Rice, the law firm of Old Lundy, 1000 West Cass in Tampa. Simply here on behalf of the applicant, happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
On which one?
On what item?
P58.
P58 would be.
It's on consent.
That's
Just
this
wanted to-
afternoon.
This afternoon.
Correct. It's this afternoon, not 10 o'clock.
No, it's
Yeah.
at 1:30 this afternoon.
Okay,
You
thank
can
you.
address the item when the
There's
item
great
comes up.
shopping in Dade City.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice trails.
Okay.
You can rent a bike maybe.
Next individual.
Scott Black, followed by Nancy Hazelwood.
Good morning, everyone. Scott Black. It's my pleasure to serve presently as mayor of the city of Dade City, 38020 Meridian Avenue, Dade City, Florida. And we're always proud to be the county seat of Pasco County and host the county commission and county government here in Dade City. And just wanted to mention, and in just a moment, our Mayor Pro Tem, Normita Woodard, will have a few words to say as well. But just wanted to mention the great relationship that we strive to keep with the county. We've appreciated so much through the years that we're able to be here together in Dade City. And also, as we've partnered together on several things through the years, with our library here in Dade City, formerly a city facility and now part of the county library system. That's been a great thing for Dade City, especially through the years with expansion and the resources the county offers us. With our fire and rescue, that's been a very good partnership to have. And it may not be quite the partnership, but it's always been a wonderful thing for us. And we've appreciated we've been able to work together on things like that, as well as dispatch in more recent years. And these things have gone very smoothly, and we want to continue to have a great working relationship. And particularly today, want to thank the county for the Parks and Recreation. With this being Parks and Recreation Month in Pasco County, we're very grateful for having Kim and her staff working with us at Naomi Jones Park, the James Irvin Center. And I know that they work at other facilities in eastern Pasco County, the Boys and Girls Club in Lacucci, close to my hometown of Trilby, and we appreciate that. And so we just want to thank you for the services that are provided. We look forward to expanding that. We want to have some more conversations, and we look forward to having those conversations. We just want to say thank you, and say thank you to the Parks and Recreation staff, and congratulate them for all that they do, and for this being Parks and Recreation Month in Pasco County. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do I need to still give my address as well?
Yes, please.
37747 Sumner Avenue. Just wanted to also bring to your attention that I am looking forward to continuing our partnership on coming to some type of agreement of where we can locate a sports complex center on this side. It is extremely important that we find the time to get together so that we can unite and have a united front so that we can provide this services to all of our citizens on the east side of Pasco County. So not just looking for one area, one location, but something that can serve everyone. And we are excited about coming to the table and coming to some type of agreement where we can work together and keep our forces together. It is truly appreciated for what Parks and Recs does. However, as many of you know, James Irvin is no longer feasible. It is no longer large enough. It cannot continue to be the place for Parks and Recs. So it's time for us to do something. And I stand today along with the residents of the city of Dade City to say, hey, let's join together, let's make a difference, let's make a change, and let's do it together. Let's not, city does one thing, county does one thing. Let's work together. I believe we can make this happen and have something extraordinary for our children. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your comments, and Mr. Black, thank you also.
Certainly, and just want to recognize several of the residents of the city of Dade City, several of our residents that are here today in support and in appreciation also for all that the county does for us with our parks.
And as being Commissioner of District 1, which covers Dade City and all of East Pasco County, but the fact of it is we're very willing to work with the city and do what we can. We want to do more than we do. We do a lot at the Burks Park, and we want to do more to help. And I've also talked to Mr. Riley today about our Parks and Rec and the fact of maybe choosing a place suitable here in Dade City, and we look forward to working for that. And Naomi, you're more than welcome to come visit with me and talk about different items that you want in there in my office at any time. So just give me a call and come out and we'll talk about it. Be more than happy to.
Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Two things. One, we do have the 300-acre VOPH where there's some wonderful things planned. So I think you're going to get a big sports complex there and some other wonderful things. Also, please be vigilant about meeting with my staff and others to make sure that the multi-use trail that was left off of 52 gets put in from Curly to 301 to connect to your trail.
Yeah.
You got to keep reminding people, because I have no idea where that is right now.
Right.
So.
With a large park of service too, but we're also going to serve locally right here in Dade City also. So, all right, thank you. Next person.
I have Nancy Hazelwood.
Name and address for the clerk.
Nancy Hazelwood, 34110 A Nice Place, Dade City, Florida. Actually, that's nice that VOPH is putting something out. Will there be bus service from Dade City out there, maybe? Is there?
We don't answer questions really, so,
Well,
okay, go ahead and make your statements.
yes, sir. I actually wanted to thank you all for getting some staff-driven meetings out there. We had one on resilience, and that was great. I could see, I understand why they're starting on the west side, but we do have some problems. I think a lot of it's due to some of the construction going on out there. I know people that are living with mold in their houses, and they have because they're getting flooded every once in a while. This is kind of unacceptable for this area, and they say, well, we'll get to it later. What, 10 years? From what I understand, it moves slowly. Maybe we could add some more people and monies to this resilience project, because I'm sure as the construction goes on in Pasco County, we're going to have more of this. The other thing is you've got another one coming up tomorrow on code enforcement, and that ought to be interesting also. Thank you so much. We need more of those meetings for people and citizens out here. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Chair, that's all that I have that physically signed.
Does anyone in the audience wish to speak at this time? Because this is a public hearing. Yes, ma'am, come forward. State your name and address for the clerk.
Hi there, Pastor Jen Kerouac, 15925 Green Glen Lane, Spring Hill, Shady Hills, Florida. I appreciate your time today, and I'm coming with regards to the consent item C20 and the concerns that I have as someone who is working with the communities that are impoverished, those that are without homes, without jobs, lack of transportation on a daily basis. And I know that we've been hitting this ball back and forth for a while, and there is a significant need. But the concerns that have been shared with me with many of my colleagues, number one is the concern that Pinellas will, as a result of the facility being so close to the Pinellas-Pasco County line, and when I first moved here, I lived in Pinellas County, and I was there when it happened. St. Pete moved by bus the homeless folks into, and I probably will be very unpopular for saying this, I feel like, but I'm just gonna tell the truth. They moved, St. Pete moved them to Clearwater, and I lived there when Clearwater moved them to Holiday, okay? And so how are we going to serve those issues that have been existing in Pasco County? Those people that are without homes that are creating, I know, a lot of havoc in the Hudson area, along 19. I know there are issues in Holiday. However, how are we going to eliminate, that we're serving Pinellas folks and our Pasco folks aren't getting the services that they need? Because if they're homeless, most often, they don't have an address. So, if we're trying to address the Pasco problems, I think that needs to be taken into consideration. The details of the project, and I'm part of the COC group as well, and so the details of the project prior to purchase, I just, that was also a concern of my colleagues at the last COC meeting. Also asked to advocate for a more central facility, maybe one that's larger, one that is, whether it's central on 19, the majority of the hot spots are on 19, or even thinking outside of the box, some of the surplus county properties that we have, and utilizing those properties, or properties that back taxes and nobody's picked it up off a tax sale, and offering those to nonprofits so that there are spot facilities, just like the builders, they spot build. Why can't we, as well as a county, to address this very growing need? And rather than burdening, I know that, many times Catholic Charities or St. Vincent de Paul, and they do the best that they can with what they have. But my experience is, talking with the case managers, that they're very overburdened. And so who is going to be running the project? We don't know yet. So I just would ask that you consider removing this from consent to have more conversation. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Brian, could you speak to her a little bit about what's being done? Is Brian
It's
here?
been pulled from consent, so we're going to have a discussion.
Hmm?
It's been pulled from consent, so we'll
Oh,
have a
that
discussion.
item's going to be pulled, okay. All right, thank you, Kathy. Okay, does anyone else wish to speak this time? Seeing no one, we have anyone on WebEx?
Mr. Chair, we do have one person in queue, Mr. Al Hazim. And Mr. Hazim, you have been elevated. You should be able to speak. If you could state your name and address before starting your comments.
On Main Street, Newport Richey. I would like to discuss the item agenda C20. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. To touch on some of what the previous gentlelady discussed regarding that agenda, I believe that the spirit and the decision that was made, there's a lot of stuff, I can't really hear that well. Spirit of what you guys are trying to accomplish is in good faith. I think the area, the location in which we are placing that shelter over on Grand Boulevard is misguided. Gentlemen and women who go through homelessness oftentimes have mental health issues, substance abuse concerns. Placing them on Grand Boulevard next to auto shops, bars, liquor distribution centers, and a massage parlor isn't going to give them the resources that they need to succeed and become more beneficial members of society in that location. I think consideration should be given to maybe purchasing a land near Little Road where they could be next to the Baycare facility, next to the judicial center, so that if they have pending court cases or dependency hearing cases, they have adequate walkable space to attend hearings or get those resources. They have the bus route that's available to them. If the VA, if they're veterans and they're homeless, you put them in the middle of Holiday on Grand Boulevard, they're not going to have that same access to those resources or those facilities. I think the spirit of the decision is appropriate. The location, I don't think, is. On Grand Boulevard, they're not going to be able to succeed or thrive as they would on Little Road. Having experience in that field, I know the resources they need are on Little Road. So somewhere closer within a walkable path is a much more beneficial location for people than would be in Holiday. And that's all, starting the C20 item, and that's all I have to say on that.
Thank you.
I'll say that you guys did make a decision. I don't remember what year, where you put the family shelter on Little Road for those exact same reasons. Because it was near the judicial center, it was near resources such as Baycare and the VA. If you made the decision for the family shelter when you did, I think that same decision should be applied to this shelter for the homeless. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Anyone else?
no one else is on WebEx.
Okay. Is there anyone here wish to speak at this time? Seeing no one, we will move on to our resolutions. Madam Clerk?
Resolutions or consent?
Resolutions.
Resolutions.
Can Miss Sarah Alway please step to the podium? I will go ahead and read the resolution first. Resolution number 24-150, resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, recognizing Sarah Alway for being named the 2024 Dan Webster Young Innovator of the Year. Ms. Sarah, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Whereas Sarah Alway has been passionately involved in economic development for 2.5 years, demonstrating unwavering commitment and dedication to enhancing the professional landscape of Pasco County. And whereas the Dan Webster Young Innovator Scholarship Award was presented to Sarah by Florida High Tech Corridor CEO Paul Soul, during the Florida Economic Development Council's Diamond Jubilee Awards dinner at the organization's annual conference. And whereas the Dan Webster Young Innovator Scholarship Award was launched in 2015 to honor Congressman Daniel Webster for his dedication and commitment to economic development in Florida, and is presented each year to an emerging leader in Florida's economic development sector, with the recipient receiving a $5,000 scholarship to be applied towards coursework and fees associated with achieving the Certified Economic Developer designation. And whereas Sarah is the Economic Development Coordinator for the Pasco EDC, and throughout her tenure, she has made significant contributions to Pasco EDC while also achieving 3 promotions that reflect her commitment to the field of economic development. And whereas Sarah holds a Bachelor's of Arts in Economics, a Master's of Science in Economic Development, and serves on the End Recidivism Project Board, HCA Bayonet Point Community Advisory Council, Career Source Pasco Hernando Education and Industry Consortium, Pasco County Schools CTAE Career Advisory Council, and holds shared positions on Spark Pasco Hernando, as well as committees for Pasco Hernando State College, Kaiser University, and Fred K. Marchman Technical College. Sarah's professionalism and expertise has influenced the outcomes of key initiatives such as an employer resource library, Career Seeker Resource Library, and the Connect OPP tool for enhanced talent engagement. And whereas since embarking on her journey in economic development, Sarah displays a clear ambition of her professional aspirations to become a certified economic developer, and creates a positive change while breaking barriers as one of the few female business leaders of an economic development organization in Florida. And whereas Sarah's dedication has not only bolstered economic development in Pasco County, but has also positively impacted Florida's economy by attracting more employers, fostering collaborations between educational institutions, nonprofits, businesses, and innovating training programs. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby recognizes Sarah Alway for being named the 2024 Dan Webster Young Innovator of the Year and for her exemplary service to the citizens of Pasco County. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 9th day of July, 2024.
Move approval. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry.
Welcome.
We didn't get the
Excuse me.
motion and the second on the record, so Commissioner Waitman motioned.
Waitman motion and
the
second on Catherine.
On, on Starkey. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. May I respond? Okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you so much for this. I'm extremely grateful to be the recipient of this year's Dan Webster Young Innovator Scholarship Award from the Florida High Tech Corridor and the Florida Economic Development Council in recognition of my achievements and aspirations in economic development. This scholarship will be applied toward coursework for becoming a certified economic developer, which is deemed the premier designation for economic development practitioners, which will enhance my ability to contribute to our county's growth. Additionally, I hope it will increase my opportunities for leadership positions in economic development space. With my scholarship, I will take 4 remaining courses covering subjects such as credit analysis, real estate development, and business retention and expansion. And I will be eligible to sit for the exam in 2026. Receiving this award highlights a key principle that Pasco Economic Development Council champions to our local employers, which is investing in young entry-level talent and nurturing their growth within an organization. By supporting and developing emerging professionals, businesses not only strengthen their own teams, but also contribute to the overall vitality and innovation of our community. This award is a significant milestone in my economic development career. It reflects not just my efforts, but also the dedication and hard work of the entire Pasco EDC team. In my time here, I have learned so much from Bill, our CEO, the rest of our staff, and many community stakeholders, including our valuable partners in workforce, industry, and government who support our efforts. So thank you to the Board of County Commissioners for this recognition and for your continued support of economic development in Pasco County. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Waitman?
Thank you, Chair. Sarah, don't run away just yet.
Come back.
First of all, congratulations. How many EDCs do we have around the state of Florida, Bill?
67. One for each county, 67. So congratulations, you know, making Pasco proud. And it's exciting to know that there's talent in our pipeline for when Bill retires or whatever Bill does later down the road. No, but Bill, you know, if not for Bill and, you know, attracting great talent to Pasco County and to our Economic Development Council and you know, getting young folks interested and engaged. So we applaud you for your interest in this subject matter and in joining our team in Pasco County. We selfishly think we're the greatest county in the state of Florida. And, you know, you're right here with us. So thank you for all your hard work and dedication, and congratulations.
Okay. Sarah, I had the
Yes.
pleasure of having you with us when we went to Bentonville. And I enjoyed our time together very much, and I see why you earned this award, and we're very proud of you. Congratulations.
Ms. Yeager?
Well, you have a very impressive resume, so, and I'm going to piggyback on what Seth said. You are making Pasco proud, and you're just the future. So congratulations on your award. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Brown?
Sarah, tremendous achievement. Bill, thank you for helping bring all these great people like Turner and Sarah to our team, helping us grow. Our reputation around is huge just because of all these great people you keep bringing forward. So Sarah, congratulations on a phenomenal award and a great career start. So we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay. Sir, congratulations on your award. We certainly appreciate everything you do here for Pasco County, and we're here to support the efforts that you put out, and the same token for all of Pasco County residents. So we certainly appreciate it. Would everyone like to come join me at the front, and we'll have pictures. So.
Bill, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'll come on down, and while you're coming down, I'll mention that there's a lot of people that don't know what economic development is and what we do. There's very few people that actually want to do this as a career and actually went to school for it. I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and Sarah is the second person that I've ever met that actually went to school to become an economic developer, and we are so lucky to have her here. So we're all very proud, and our whole team's here to celebrate with you as well, too.
Everybody scrunched together. Take a couple photos right here. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. One more, don't move. Ready, 1, 2, 3. And we got the
One more.
Taking over your job. Okay. Resolution.
How did you get that? Second resolution?
Second? Yep.
All right, if you're here with Parks and Recreation, please come to the podium.
There's a good group of people coming here today.
Yeah.
You bring everybody?
No, we need a little more room for that, but yeah.
I think so. Yes, sir.
I'll go ahead and read the resolution. Resolution number 24-147, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring the month of July as Parks and Recreation Month in Pasco County. Whereas Pasco County Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Departments, programs, and facilities are essential services that enhance the quality of life by providing a balance of athletic, social, cultural, and recreational opportunities, building self-esteem, teaching life skills, encouraging environmental awareness, and providing public spaces for every citizen to enjoy. And whereas Pasco County's Park, Recreation, and Natural Resources facilities supports tournaments and special events that boost our economy, enhance property values, attract new business, and increase tourism. And whereas the Pasco County Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Department provides a diverse inventory of facilities, fields, preserves, and conservation areas, as well as campsites, ramps for water access, beach areas, picnic areas, playgrounds, and swimming pools for the public to enjoy. And whereas the Parks, Recreation, Natural Resources Department maintains and manages facilities to help build strong communities, support family unity, and strengthen neighborhood involvement. And whereas our parks, trails, blueways showcase ecological beauty, provide space to enjoy nature, help maintain clean air and water, and protect wildlife. And whereas recreation and outdoor activities, adaptive recreation, special needs summer camps, inclusive programming, and leisure education are essential to the well-being and rehabilitation of countless individuals in our community. And whereas the Pasco County Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Department oversees 38 parks, locations, and more than 20,000 acres of parkland and open space. And whereas the local and state parks maintained by Pasco County Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Department are vital to the well-being and quality of life of every citizen and visitor of Pasco County. And whereas the Pasco County Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Department joins the National Recreation and Parks Association to celebrate the many ways parks and recreation professionals across the country foster a sense of belonging in their community. And whereas July 19th, 2024 will be proclaimed as Parks and Recreation's Professional Day to celebrate all the dedicated professionals who are working to build strong, vibrant, and resilient communities in Pasco County. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby declares July as Park and Recreation Month in Pasco County and celebrates the dedicated work of the Pasco County Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Department. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 9th day of July 2024.
Move approval.
Got a motion and a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passed 5-0. Welcome. Great team. Glad you're here. Keith?
Yes, sir. So, Commission, thank you so much for your continued support. As the clerk had mentioned, this year's NRPA theme is Where We Belong, and I think I'd like to, before I get too far into it, I'd like to thank Mayor Scott Black and Commissioner Woodard for their kind words and you know, regarding our support for providing services to the citizens of Dade City, and also just to the entire team that continues 7 days a week to provide connections and meaningful opportunities for all of your residents. Without them working and being dedicated and innovative to continue to provide services, I don't think that we would have the reputation and recognition. So thank you to the entire team. And speaking of meaningful connections, I don't know, Mr. Taylor, if you'd like to introduce your guest. We'll give you a firsthand true story of someone that actually had one of those meaningful connections through the services that you all provide by supporting our department.
Good morning, Brian Taylor, Recreation Division Manager. So I would like to introduce Melody Calzalza. She is a counselor in training at Russia Middle School. This is her first year doing it, and she's been doing an amazing job working with the children. And she wanted to say a few words about what this opportunity has meant to her.
Okay.
Hello everyone, I'm Melody and I consider myself pretty lucky to be here today, not only as a Pasco resident, but also an active volunteer in our community. Unlike most of us here today, I did not grow up in Pasco. I grew up in Kosovo, which is a small post-war country in southeastern Europe. I got to experience firsthand what it is like to recover from war, but I believe that makes me that much more grateful to be here today. Since moving to Pasco County, I found myself involved in numerous organizations and opportunities. I'm part of Youth Leadership Pasco Class of 2024. During those months, I got to see just how many opportunities Pasco has to offer, as well as the warm and welcoming communities that make up our county. Today, I am a counselor in training with Pasco Parks and Recreation. I've been spending my days giving back to the community by working with the very foundation of our society, our children. Seeing the learning opportunities offered to these kids makes me happy for them as well as myself. It gives me faith in our ability to work together to make a better, healthier community. I've seen firsthand the importance of county institutions while also volunteering with Land O'Lakes Library as well as Pasco County Animal Services. While working with kids at a summer camp is majorly different from working with dogs, they have something in common. They all give us that warm, fuzzy feeling of seeing a family get together, which is my favorite part about living in Pasco County. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good job, very good job. So we'll end up putting you in leadership here somewhere. So. And maybe you already are in leadership, so. But that's great. Thank you. Thank you for all your team. If you would other members?
Comments? The sponsor?
Mariana?
We were waiting first.
Comments? Comments, Chair?
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. You know, once again, 2 for 2, you know, Keith and Brian bringing up your replacements, potentially. So, no, you know, the fact that we have these programs, and Melanie, thank you for, out of all the subject matter you can choose in your budding career and your, you know, journey through Pasco County, again, the greatest county in the state of Florida and the greatest state in the union. Thank you for choosing to, you know, not just better yourself, but better our kids and your fellow youth, and a fantastic department. You know, Commissioner Starkey, she stepped out, but I think she's quite jealous, Keith, that I somehow ended up with this resolution and not her. But, you know, Parks is truly, really, parks and libraries are the one amenity government can provide to a community, right? And sometimes they're left on the back burner, but it's the one committee that the taxpayer pays for, and they very much appreciate, and it crosses all socioeconomic lines, race, creed, you name it. Our parks build communities. They make counties and cities better, and you know, we're better for it. So 20,000 acres, Keith, I hope that keeps growing. And thank you all and the whole team for being here to support one another, and Melody, and you know, great job on your presentation.
Okay, Ms. Yeager.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for volunteering your time in Pasco. As a mom, my kids grew up in the camps. They went to Starkey Camp, and I couldn't have done it without the camps because they kept my kids busy and tired, and it was also very affordable. So thank you guys very much for what you do, and you definitely have a career ahead of you in parks. Yes.
Mr. Mariano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Keith, your team, congratulations on everything you're doing. The partnerships you make with the community, such as the Halloween event that helps get funding back into the park, that doesn't happen everywhere. And that takes the cooperation of everybody together, and good things happen from that. That led to, frankly, the Scarlet Fest coming up, that the whole community pitched in to make it free for the residents other than the parking, and your summer camp's going to benefit from it, Steps to Recovery is going to benefit, and Sertoma jumped on board because of the great work you do in the community. Parks is critical. I'm a big fan of it. I think the board's way before us. It spent a lot of money to go build out our parks. Had a great vision. When the economy dropped, we had to cut parks and libraries like 30% just to keep the budget going. And this board, very proudly, is stepping up to make sure that you've got what you need for the future. The citizens stepped in with the go bonds to say, we like what you're doing, we want you to do more of it. And I think, Seth, you've seen it. Trish, the whole thing of building families and give them a place to go. When I go to SunWest, when we first opened it up, I used to look at all the people over there and go, where would they be if not for this? And now we get to celebrate all these other things in the park. So keep up all the great work, working with Dade City, doing great things there. So thank you for all you're doing.
Okay, great job. Mr. Wayman, if you'll go down and present the certificates, and if y'all all come up this way, we'll stay up there behind and give a photograph. Thanks. She's a small giant, but think about it that way.
Hold still 1 second.
All right. Okay.
Hang on, 1 second. Let the administrator come.
You know, my designated.
Oh, where you been?
My throat was swelling up.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to resolution number 3.
Hey,
Okay.
Thank you.
If you are here from Pasco County Animal Services, please come to the podium.
Normally,
I see them come in.
keep on coming up. Don't be bashful, we'll let you speak, so.
Well, good morning. I'm going to go ahead and read the resolution first. Resolution number 24-149, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, recognizing the partnership between the Runaways Animal Rescue and Pasco County Animal Services and declaring August 10th through September 10th as Clear the Shelters Month in Pasco County. Whereas Florida currently ranks as the 4th highest state in the country in animal deaths in shelters, and over 20,000 animals that died in animal shelters in the state of Florida in 2022. And whereas to help the ongoing need for more animal rescue in Pasco County, Danielle, is it Giroux? Oh. Founded the Runaways Animal Rescue in 2020 as a small foster-based rescue organization whose mission is to protect and advocate for all companion animals in need, and eventually acquired a permanent shelter location in 2021. And whereas the Runaways Animal Rescue takes in approximately 1,000 animals annually, and with the help of its partnership with Pasco County Animal Services, it traps, neuters, vaccinates, and returns 1,100 cats annually. And whereas the Runaways Animal Rescue promotes support for all companion animals through adoption, rescue, spay, and neuter efforts, continued humane education, community programs, and partnerships with local organizations also working to help homeless animals in need. And whereas the Runaways Animal Rescue has been a strong partner with Pasco County Animal Services, rescuing hundreds of animals from the local municipal animal shelter since 2020, including small unweaned neonatal kittens, hard to adopt rescue dogs, and severe medical cases that often require thousands of dollars of extensive veterinary care and hundreds of hours of direct attention. And whereas August 2024 will mark the 10th anniversary of the National Clear the Shelters events, a nationwide pet adoption and a donation campaign that helps find loving homes for animals in need, helping over 1 million homeless pets find a home since its inception. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby commends the Runaway Animal Rescue for their work in collaborating with Pasco County Animal Services and their continued efforts in saving animals during Clear the Shelters Month from August 10th through September 10th. Done and resolved in regular session with quorum present and voting this 9th day of July, 2024.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passed. Welcome. Mr. Mariano?
Yes, I just want to say first before I get to Danielle, Animal Services just does a phenomenal job. I've seen them take pets that have been lost from a home, taken care of, even given back to a home and gone back to the original owner, finding new pets for the other owners that were there. I mean, just dramatic what they can do when they work with their great volunteers and their people. And they're very compassionate about everything they do. And I want to say recently, this 2 weeks ago, my dog got away, became a runaway. And she was down at the shelter. They took great care of her. We got out of there quickly. It was a scary moment for the family. So to know that your best friend in the family could be in trouble, knowing he's got a better chance of getting care with the care that you guys give is great. Those of you who have been to Danielle's shelter, it is a phenomenal place. They do tremendous work down there, a very much needed place, and the partnership, Danielle, that you have with the county is greatly appreciated. I wanted to bring this resolution to foster that support for us to work with them closely as we go, because you do take care of so many pets that are out there, and your heart's in it, so much so that the people are supporting you every step of the way. So thank you for the great work you're doing.
Thank you.
You'd like to speak?
I mean, I didn't plan a speech or anything, but I want to say thank you for having us, and we are really proud of our partnership with Pasco County Animal Services. I think we are the largest puller of animals from them, but we are just happy to have a shelter that is supported by our county and our community, so we are able to save thousands of animals a year.
Mr. Wayman?
I don't know, Commissioner Mariano, your best friend ran away from you.
Full like a fit set.
Ran away from you there. But no, again, it shows why Pasco County Animal Services, you're an award-winning team, seemingly year after year, at least since I've been on this board. And, this is another testament to why you guys are so fantastic at your job and, help everybody, including best friends who are trying to run away from their houses. So congratulations to you guys.
Ms. Yeager?
So I am new, obviously, to the commission, and that is one place I haven't gotten to tour yet.
Oh, you should come.
And, I'm a dog lover, so you never know. I just might leave with a dog.
I mean, I would love that.
I say they're like potato chips. You just can't have one.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Definitely come check it out.
I will. Thank you.
Well, welcome and great job. And I tell you, I've been here, I'm my 8th year, and Animal Services has, it's like they were crawling when I got here, and they've been getting awards ever since I've been here with the great job that Mike's been able to lead us all into with Animal Services, because when I first got here, it was not nearly like it is today. So there's great awards going out to each and every one of you that work in Animal Services. So we hear it and we see it a lot of meetings during the year, that we see what's going on here for Animal Services, and the good people that we have and staff working there means a great deal to all our citizens that it's been handled. So, and the adoption rate and things of that nature that help these animals that we don't have to euthanize like they did in the years past. So great job for everybody. So with that, we'll come down. As other members here that would like to come up for pictures, so bring them forward.
This is really
Okay, resolution number 4.
All right, if you are here for Premier Community Healthcare Group, please come to the podium. Thank you. I'll go ahead and read the resolution. Resolution number 24-148, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, recognizing Premier Community Healthcare Group, Inc. on their 45th anniversary, thanking them for their commitment to the community and declaring July 9th, 2024 as Premier Community Healthcare Day in Pasco County. Whereas Premier Community Healthcare Group, Inc. was founded in July 9th, 1979, and is a nonprofit community health center whose mission is to help people live healthier lives by providing accessible, high-quality, and comprehensive health services to all. And whereas Premier operates 18 conveniently located clinics and 2 mobile units throughout Pasco and Hernando counties. And whereas Premier provides a full range of comprehensive primary care medical services that includes family medicine, pediatrics, dental, behavioral health, and substance abuse disorder. Can you help me with that one?
Obstetrical.
Obstetrics. Thank you.
You're
Easy for you to say. And gynecology, podiatry, and chiropractic care. And whereas in 2023, there were 143,761 visits to Premier clinics, with 40,954 patients receiving essential medical care. And whereas 83% of Premier's patient population is made up of patients who are uninsured or publicly insured. And whereas Premier is one of over 1,400 community health centers in the United States and its territories required by law to cater to medically underserved populations. And whereas Premier is the only federal qualified health center serving the Pasco County community with affordable health care options. And whereas Premier has been committed to improving access to care for everyone with its long-standing presence in the community since 1979. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby proclaims July 9th, 2024 as Premier Community Healthcare Day in Pasco County and urges residents of Pasco County to join in extending sincere congratulations and gratitude to Premier Community Healthcare for providing high-quality, comprehensive health services to the community. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 9th day of July, 2024.
Move approval.
Got a motion? Second? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passed 5-0. Welcome, Joy. So glad to see you, and
Happy to be here. So thank you very much for the recognition. And, you know, on behalf of our board of directors, our volunteer board of directors, and again, something that's unique about Premier and our board is that at least 51% of our board members or somebody in their household have to be patients of our sites. And so on behalf of our board, our advisory council, our capital steering committee, and over 300 care team members, I want to thank you for this recognition and your support. And our mission says everything about us is that we're providing accessible healthcare services to all. We don't turn anybody away. I am a patient at Premier as well, from a dental perspective and a medical perspective. So that should just make a statement of the confidence that I have in our care team and the high quality that we have. So my dad's a doctor, he's 84, lives in Texas, still practicing, and he's moved to Dr. B. I call him, he's always been my Dr. A, but Dr. Heron's my doctor here, and I always bounce it off of her first and then call him for a second opinion. I'm not sure how he likes that, but again, from our perspective is, you heard the numbers, that the impact that we have, over 40,000 patients come through our doors every year. And we're going to continue to expand. Over the last 10 years, we've gone from 5 clinics to the 18 clinics. We were at about 125 care team members. We're now over 330. We just opened up 2 brand new facilities, and thank you for your support in allowing us and supporting us to build those 2 facilities, one in Zephyr Hills and one in Newport Richey. I would invite anybody to come see them. I'm happy, and the team is wonderful at showing off what we do and then provide high quality and compassionate care. So thank you again for the recognition. Really appreciate it.
Mr. Mariano.
There you go. Joey, I want to say, since we met many years ago, what you've done in this community has been absolutely phenomenal. You grew from a small to just all the facilities. I mean, the facility that Rick Becker's just architecturally set up for you looks absolutely fantastic down there. I was there for the groundbreaking, Commissioner Starkey as well, and I think Commissioner Starkey's made everything after that, and I've struggled to make them, so thank you for being there representing us. The savings that you must provide for us, instead of paying hospitals back for emergency care, et cetera, has got to be dramatic numbers. I think as you come talk to us, as far as we try to help you for getting through the next year and probably years after that, those numbers will resonate a long way. If you think about the numbers from 143,000 people, it's almost like 2.5 visits per resident of Pasco County. And it's only a much smaller population, so this is a significant help that you're putting to the community, because you've got to have your health. If you don't have your health, you can't work, you can't go to school, you can't function. So everything you're doing is phenomenal. And then the dental thing, it's critical, absolutely critical. So thank you for the great work you're doing. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Mr. Waitman.
Thank you, Chair. You know, Pasco County we've really expanded our healthcare infrastructure at all levels. We were at a groundbreaking this morning on a new ER site off Meadow Point. We have Premier Health and the work that they do for another demographic of our population. You know, Joey, it's just fantastic how far Pasco's come, and you've seen it, and you've worked through it, and you know, our healthcare generally is working through the growing pains that Pasco County has. So, you know, thank you and your team for your mission-driven, you know, focus on healthcare to our communities, and happy to have you here today. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ms. Starkey?
Yep, I would echo all these comments, and you know, I have a family member who's been a patient of yours, and we're very appreciative of what you guys do for this community. So, and your facility is fantastic. Yeah, it's,
Ms. Yeager?
It's the architecture is wonderful. It's an asset to the community, no doubt.
Thank you.
Ms. Yeager?
Yeah, and I know firsthand the impact you've had on the community. I worked with at-risk families, and what you guys do is just critical to our county, and you truly are a lifeline for those families. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Joy, thank you for all that Premier does in our county. I've been a part of it. I've been supporting Premier, and y'all have done a great job, and 140-some thousand people that you see every year. Very thankful for that. That's our citizens here in Pasco County. With all the infrastructure, with the growth of all the different hospitals coming into Pasco County, and I think there's 4 or 5 now, but the benefactor of all the hospitals and all the work you do is our citizens of Pasco County. So we're very thankful for all the service you give us. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
So with that, we'll come down and get a picture.
Perfect. Thank you. Joey, I want to think of one more thing too. When we did our strategic plan years ago, the word premier came up, and you did not oppose that, so we greatly appreciate it. Let's use enough from it.
Okay, that ends our resolutions as far as them listed out. Personally, I think I have another one, but it'll be in this time now for our consent agenda. The items I have pulled are C31, pull and revise, C43, pull and revise, C20, pull and discuss, C5 by Nikki, pull and discuss.
Yes.
So I would like to see a motion for the rest of the items on the agenda. Wait a minute.
So moved.
Oh, that's a different one. Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All right. I got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed 5-0. Now we'll, I guess we'll take the first C item we'll pull. Take C5.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Nikki?
This is a resolution for Patrice Monaco McBride. If you could please step up to the podium. I'll go ahead and read the resolution first. Resolution number 24-151, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, expressing appreciation to Patrice Monaco McBride, Inspector General for the Office of the Clerk and Controller, for her more than 15 years of outstanding service to Pasco County. Whereas Patrice Monaco McBride was hired on September 15th, 2008 by the Pasco County Clerk of Circuit Court and County Controller as a manager in the Accounting and Financial Reporting Department. In May 2013, the Clerk and Controller appointed Ms. Monaco McBride to lead the Department of Inspector General and fulfill its mission. And whereas Ms. Monaco McBride was committed to preserving the public trust and improving government by providing independent reviews, inquiries, and audits designed to add value and improve the operations of the Board of County Commissioners and the Office of the Clerk and Controller. And whereas Ms. Monaco McBride authored the Inspector General Charter, which was signed by the Clerk and Controller on June 25, 2013, to formally document the internal audit function's mandates, organizational position, reporting relationships, scope of work, types of services, and commitment to meet or exceed professional principles and standards for auditing and Inspector General departments. And whereas during her career, Ms. Monaco McBride achieved the professional certifications of Certified Inspector General, Certified Inspector General Auditor, Certified Government Financial Officer, and Certified Public Manager. And whereas Ms. Monaco McBride established the I Look for Pasco hotline in September 2014, the hotline provided a way for Board of County Commissioners and the Clerk and Controller teammates to report fraud, waste, or abuse of county assets or resources. Ms. Monaco McBride also implemented an annual fraud and ethics training program for the Office of the Clerk and Controller. And whereas Ms. Monaco McBride established a formal risk assessment and methodology to identify and prioritize potential risks to operations of the Board of County Commissioners and the Office of the Clerk and Controller. And whereas Ms. Monaco McBride continued to improve the credibility of the internal audit function by requesting the first external quality assurance review or peer review of the Inspector General Department's compliance with professional auditing standards and passed the peer review conducted by the Association of Inspector Generals in July of 2021. And whereas Ms. Monaco McBride expanded the Inspector General Department by establishing one additional auditor position and an Inspector General Manager position to better serve the Board of County Commissioners and the Office of the Clerk and Controller. And whereas Ms. Monaco McBride has been an integral part of the Office of the Clerk and Controller and has developed and maintained an ever-changing environment, a highly effective and efficient Inspector General Department built on professionalism and integrity. Ms. Monaco McBride's expertise and organizational knowledge in the performance of her duties had a positive impact on the operations of the Board of County Commissioners and the Office of the Clerk and Controller. And whereas, as of July 19, 2024, Ms. Monaco McBride retires from the Office of the Clerk and Controller, and the Board of County Commissioners and the Clerk and Controller deem it appropriate to recognize her contributions during her more than 15 years of service. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, in session duly assembled, that said board hereby expresses its deepest appreciation to Patrice Monaco McBride for her outstanding service to the citizens of Pasco County. Done and resolved in regular session with the quorum present and voting this 9th day of July 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Welcome.
First, I'd like to say thank you for that recognition.
Yeah. Got more to say?
It's
You
a little
gonna volunteer
surreal.
some more, or?
Pardon? No,
You
no,
gonna
no,
volunteer?
no. No, that was just perfectly well said, and I thank you for that. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our clerk. I don't think most of us, most folks realize that she's a real working elected constitutional officer, and to that end, she's always available to the team. She works way too many hours and has been such an amazing coach and mentor and leader for me and the function. I don't think we would have elevated ourselves to that gold standard for our community of having that external assessment if not for Nikki's support. I would also be very, very remiss not to acknowledge that I couldn't have done any of it without Erica Hendricks. A lot of you know Erica. She's been with the clerk's office for more than 20 years. She, through all the ups and downs and all the challenges of recruitment and projects and all of the things, Erica has always been steadfast in her commitment to the improvement of how we do what we do for our community. So I couldn't have done any of it without her, because it's never a one-man or one-woman show. All of my leadership team, my executive team at my office has been an amazing support and has taught me so much. And it's probably because of all of that I've come to a conclusion. I have served my state and local governments since 1991, so really most of my career. And it's just time for me to make way for the next generation to see what they can do and how much more they can improve it and take it home for you all. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Raymond?
Thank you, Chair. You know, first, congratulations on your retirement. We've just seen, at least in my time, so many folks with such fantastic institutional knowledge retire. And it's important, like you mentioned, your colleague there, the recruitment efforts of getting new folks in the door to take over the critical work that you all do, especially in audit function. I mean, what organization, public or private, can function appropriately without, you know, an audit check from time to time? So, you know, your work incredibly critical, and, you know, sometimes comes with some bumps and bruises depending on the findings, but I think for the most part everybody appreciates the role of the auditor. You know, it keeps everybody on the straight and narrow and where we can improve, and because of your work, I think we're all better for it. So congratulations on your retirement. I hope you go have some fun times somewhere outside of the clerk's office. Maybe come to public comment or something from time to time so we see you. But no, congratulations, and thank you for your service and dedications to the citizens of Pasco County.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Ms. Starkey?
Yeah, I remember when, who was your predecessor, came to us and said, we want to hire an inspector general, and, you know, so they told me what that would entail, and I thought more eyes on what we do is a good thing. And I look at it as a positive. When you find us, you know, making mistakes or whatever, then we can fix them. So I wish you could do that for everybody and not just the county, right? We don't do the constitutionals, right?
That's correct. We don't have the authority unless we do an external contract to do that.
Yes, but this commissioner thinks when transparency is a good thing. And so I appreciate all the fine work you did for us and all the improvements we've made because of your expertise, and I wish you very well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Yeager?
Yeah, thank you for your service to Pasco County, and congratulations, and I hope you enjoy retirement.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much. I live in Pasco, so yeah, it's a beautiful community. I'm learning about all the libraries, what they have for activities, because, you know, I've got to stay healthy and stay engaged, so.
And now you get to enjoy that.
Yes, I will. I plan on it.
Ms. Mariana?
You know, reading that you're going to retire, or hearing that you're going to retire, is like mind-blowing. So God bless you for being able to go do it and go. I want to thank you for all your service. It's been critical for us to be able to review when we've needed them, and there have been some very important reviews you've done. So thank you for all your service. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah. Thank you for everything you've done for the county. We certainly appreciate it, and it's very much needed, and you've done a great job while you've been here.
Thank you for saying that.
So
Thank
enjoy
you.
your retirement. So it'd
Thank
be
you,
great.
Mr. Chairman.
So does everybody want to join me,
Well,
or
Mr. Chair,
you
can
want to
I say a
something?
few words? Just a couple.
Maybe we'll let you. Okay.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, Patrice, we've worked together since the entire time that you've been in the office. I'm not going to make you cry, I promise. But I've seen the growth in the Inspector General office, going from internal auditor to a higher level of audit standards with the Inspector General, and you obtaining those certifications. And not only that, to want to get audited yourself. So who audits the auditor, right? Well, she asked the Office of Inspector General to come in and to audit her work, her team's work, and they passed with flying colors on the peer review, and that's the gold standard in auditing. So I just want to let you know that Patrice, and leading her team, has made our Inspector General office a top-of-the-line audit office. And in the past 5 years since I've been clerk, she has worked really hard, because I'm pushing, right, to have that gold standard and to make sure that you can rely on our audits, because we're here as a hand to help us be better. She also goes into my office too and makes sure that we're doing things right. And all of our audits are posted online. We're very transparent on everything. I appreciate all the hard work that you have done. You have grown the department. You have provided great succession planning. I still have not filled the position yet. I have a little bit of time left, but I know that we'll be in good hands no matter what I do. We've got some amazing team members in the office, and I just want to thank you for your leadership, and also you being a fantastic leader in the Inspector General area. So thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you. Let's all go down for a picture.
We're gonna, I don't think we're gonna make it. What about C20? You want to wait?
No, you want them in order.
Yeah.
Here, look at mine, and then I'll do that when I come back.
Okay, we're going to take C31 now. Amanda Foreman, C31, pull and revise. Or Nick, either one.
Good morning.
Morning.
Commissioners, Nick Uren, County Engineer. And C31, pull and revise, is a modification to the amount in the recommended board action portion of the memo. There was a typo. The amount in the title is correct. The amount in the recommended board action was $200 too high. So we're reducing it downward to match the title.
We always like going down.
So saving you a few bucks.
Take a motion?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I want to make an approval, but I just want to make a comment before I do that. Nick, you've done such a great job since coming on board. This was one of those projects that we had another one going to bring it with it, to extend it out, made all the sense in the world. It's going to save us a whole bunch of money, time as well for our citizens. So thank you for being so innovative and working with people around you to kind of make these things happen. So I support this 100%. Move approval.
Second.
Under discussion, when I was going over this with the county administrator, I mentioned that the school district has not put their sidewalk in that goes in front of their complex.
Me too.
So we need them to put their sidewalk in. So just want to stay on top of that.
Gotcha.
Because ours will connect to nothing. And they're responsible for the sidewalks in front of their property. And I don't know if it's a multi-use trail or a sidewalk on their side. I don't remember.
West side, I believe, is the sidewalk. East side is the multi-use trail.
Say that again?
West side is the sidewalk,
Okay.
and east side is the multi-use trail.
Well, if they were smart, they'd widen theirs a little bit. But, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? There you go. We did C31.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we go to C43.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Gina Elkin, Pasco Director. Just so there was an incorrect document attached to this agenda item. It was attachment number 7. Since then, it had been removed, and the correct version should be in front of you.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passed 5-0. Now we'll move to C20.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
The reason I pulled it is I wanted to just discuss into it. Let me just make a few comments. As Mr. Smithwick said earlier today, this is going to help us with our first responders, hospitals, jails, a lot of money we spend if we can work better on the homeless situation and help these people that are hooked on drugs to get out. It is a good piece of property as far as location. It's got a bus stop there. As Pastor Jen mentioned, though, there is a concern what's going to happen down the road, which we can address as she serves in the continuing care. What's going to happen, who's going to do it, is an issue. The biggest issue I have with this is the way the contract's written, the way it's set up. The appraised value is $790,000. The land is worth $240,000. We have not done a thorough inspection on the building to find out if there's any value to it, what the issues are with it, and that building is valued at $550,000. If that building is worth zero and we got to raise it, we've now paid almost $400,000 an acre for the property. Now, I understand the location's critical to get one of these facilities in place. However, to pay that much more for a land value is something that I'm not comfortable with, and I thought it was worthy of discussion for the board.
Chair.
Mr. Whiteman.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Mariano, for bringing up. I hear similar concerns. Wasn't aware of the building inspection portion of it. I assumed that that level of due diligence would have been done before making a real estate transaction with public funds of this size. But my concerns were a little bit different. It was, we've spent a lot of time talking about the Times building on 19, which I think is probably a more suitable location in the long run. I'm just concerned if we support this location today. I've talked to Carball about this, and then the Times opportunity comes to fruition, then we have two locations. I would want to have on the record that if the Times building does happen to come to fruition, that then we can surplus this property and not be so heavily invested in it. But I do recognize, on top of that, Commissioner Mariano's points, and knowing that, I'm not overly comfortable necessarily supporting this today until we have those answers.
Ms. Starkey?
I agree that the Times location is a really good location for us. When that becomes available, we need to be there ready to bid on it. But in the meantime, we don't have anything. So that's why I was in support of this as a temporary location until we are able to secure that property. Because as you know, things are coming down at the state level, and we need to do something. Can you show that picture I emailed you or sent you? This is what's going on when I drive to my house in Gulf Harbors every day. We have this guy, a couple people, living at the bus shelter in front of, is that Walgreens? I think it's a Walgreens. But they've been living here for at least a couple weeks. So someone was supposed to be going out there yesterday. So we need to do something, but I do have a concern on that building. And so Kathy, I hadn't really thought about that. If you could address this for us.
Kathy, come forward.
If the building is a knockdown, then it should be reflected in the purchase price of the property, because I think we are hoping that we can use that building for some wraparound services while we temporarily have a, what are we calling this?
Emergency shelter?
Emergency shelter, yeah.
So Kathy Pearson, Assistant County Administrator for Public Services. Have Andrew come up in a little bit here and address, there was a building inspection done, so we do have the inspection.
Oh, okay, good.
And we will, Andrew will share some of that with you. But what I wanted to concentrate on is, as you all know, for the last 2 years, we have been really, the public, all of us have been trying to figure out what we're going to do with our homeless. As we all have identified, there is no low barrier shelter, emergency shelter in Pasco County. And with the size of our county, that's quite surprising. So the team has been, myself, we've been out to the camps, we've been boots and grounds to the camps, we see what's going on out there. We have been looking at numerous properties. And I know you all mentioned the Times building. That would have been the ideal situation, but that building is not for sale. And I'm not sure when it will become for sale. So a year and a half has gone by that we have worked with them. And homeless is getting more issues. We're hearing more from our citizens. So we have gone and looked at numerous locations. We looked at all of the hotels on 19. They were asking $4 or $5 million. We looked at the Vista Inn. We looked at Hotel 8, Motel 8. We looked at old apartments. We looked at everything, and the prices were just out of hand. This location came along, and we felt it was in a perfect location. We also looked at the church on Darlington, which sits on about 7 acres. Really good price, but smack in the middle of a residential. I mean, smack in the middle of residential. This property came, it was, the asking price was $900,000. We offered $600, we agreed on $775. As far as what's going to happen there, so the plan after, if we do move forward with this, is that we would, definitely not the county running it, we have no business running an emergency shelter. We were going to open up to an open house for all the not-for-profits to come and look at. We are preparing the RFP, we're writing the scope as we speak right now. We would put an RFP out, just as we did with the family shelter on Youth Lane. Catholic Charities won that bid and has done a marvelous job over the years of running that family shelter. We would do the same with this. I heard that there's going to be no tents. There will be no tents. Our plan is to put pallet homes on that property. We think we can fit about 50 pallet homes. As far as that building goes, and I'll let Andrew talk about that, if the building is to be torn down, we can tear it down for very few dollars. There are pallet homes that we can put in there. That building was going to be used as a central community for them to have their dining, to do their laundry, to do all sorts of services. I heard the speaker say lately that where do they go for services? If you visit a lot of these homeless shelters, as we've done, we visited Pasco Hope, we visited Safety Harbor, we visited Tampa Hope. They provide services there. They partner with mental health counseling. They partner with substance abuse and mental health. They bring those services, Career Source, they bring those services in. In fact, Tampa Hope has just had their big grand opening last week. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go on vacation. They've hired their own mental health counselors to provide services right there for them. This location has a bus stop right at the end of the driveway. So we feel like this is a perfect opportunity. We have been kicking this can down the road for 2 years. And we cannot find, I don't think there'll ever be a perfect location, but it's a location to start with. And so we're hoping that we can move forward with this, and we'll keep you all in touch. And I'm going to bring Andrew up to talk about.
Well,
go ahead.
I'd like to add to what Ms. Starkey was saying. I've been for this project because mainly we haven't been able to do anything that will help these folks, and we need to help them. We need to do this. I know the price may not be exactly the way we'd like it to be. If it was a gift, it'd even be better. But we know that's not reality. But reality of doing something now and waiting for a perfect property somewhere else, this is the best thing to do for the people that are having these troubles and for us doing what we need to do for our citizens.
And I do want to remind the board that we are using community development $1 million to purchase this property if we can get the closing done prior to July 29th. Right. Marcy has a deadline that she has to use this money for, and so that's why we're hoping we can get the closing done.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And if, so I want everyone to hear this because I've seen it happen in other counties with some of this federal money. We don't use it, it goes back many times. So and this is federal money. This is not our local money. Federal money that comes to us from HUD to do projects like this. And this is the first one that we've done in our county. Okay, so I'm interested to hear what he has to say, but I think you're hearing from the board that we want that Times property. I don't want to bash it up here because I don't want to get in an escalation of, you know, a price escalation war with someone.
Right.
But that is the location that is just
So if
wonderful,
Andrew,
because this is
So
kind of small.
I have been in contact with the Times, and right now it is not for sale.
Right, we know it's not ready.
And so when
Yeah.
it does become, and I told him that we were looking into this possibility of another location, and I also spoke with him that we were still interested in the Times building.
Yeah.
And he said when it does become available for sale, he will notify us
Okay.
immediately.
So we will
Andrew?
have, just
Come
one
on
more
forward.
follow-up
All
on
right.
that. If we spend the money to purchase this, with the federal money that would go away July 29th, if we don't have it, and we're able to get the Times with the next tranche of the federal money that comes down, we can surplus this, we can offer this for
Transitional housing.
a low-end workforce
Transitional
housing
housing. Mhm.
project. We can control the destiny of that property.
yeah.
And I've been looking for property for other purposes, for businesses. You know, my husband and my son, who are real estate brokers, there's not a lot of property out there anymore. So,
I'll bring Andrew up, he can
Come on,
talk about the appraisal and all that.
First, Andrew, if you will, go over the inspection of this property and tell us what you found, so.
Yes, so an inspection was done on the property. Not only a full inspection of all of the mechanical, electrical, plumbing systems, roof, just like you would have in a normal residential type inspection, we did something similar here in the commercial side. And as well as a 4-point inspection, there were a significant number of issues that were noted in the structure. What I would like to do is back up though. So at the very beginning, the facilities management department is responsible for helping to facilitate the real estate transaction. So any questions related to the operations of the facility, I'm going to ask Ms. Pearson to respond to those. But from the real estate transaction portion, we were notified by community development that they wanted to pursue a facility of this. We've been involved with the Times building all along as well. But again, the desire was to do something now. And so this property was identified along with many others. We looked at many properties. Kathy mentioned many of them, hotels, vacant land. We have really done quite a due diligence search. This property was listed at $900,000. And so when we did that, we pulled our county real estate team, pulled comps via some tools that they have available to them. Now, this is not an appraisal. This is an opinion of value based on comps that they're able to look at. And so those comps that they pulled ranged from $900,000 to $2 million for similar properties. And in fact, the $2 million property is the most like this particular property. It's in Newport Richey, 6333 Langston Avenue. It was a former clubhouse type facility for a community. It was 7,500 square feet of building and facilities at 2.1 acres. And so what we're looking at here is we then negotiated, we helped to facilitate negotiations down to the 775 price that we're at right now. And then we brought in an appraisal. And the appraisal is a snapshot in time to value the building to ensure that it is appropriate for the sale price. And so that sale price evaluation included the appraiser coming in at that time, looking at the condition of the facility as is. And so that is baked into their valuation of that property. Again, they're an independent appraiser. They make that valuation. And so that appraisal valuation came in at $790, and which is right in line with where we ultimately landed at $775 for the structure and the property. It's 2.18 acres. It's 2 parcels. The structure is 5,792 square feet. Again, how it will be ultimately used, that really is an operational decision. The facility is not in great repair. It would require some significant, if they decided to keep using that facility, it would require some significant investment. Or you could tear it down, probably in the $25,000 to $50,000 range, and build something that would be more appropriate and current code standards as well. So there's plenty of opportunity. It's really just the location and making sure that we've provided the right steps along the way through the real estate process to bring this before the board.
Well,
Mr. Chairman?
my challenge with, sorry, it's
Go
my
ahead.
district. My challenge with investing a lot of money in that building is, if we want this to be a temporary site,
It's a gamble.
you know, how much do we want to put into that building?
Yep.
And so, and is the condition of that building reflected in that appraisal?
The condition of the building is reflected in the appraisal as is right now.
And that building was an ALF, is that right?
It is.
It is an ALF, I mean, people are using it?
Not
People are living in it? There's, okay, so, interesting.
Part of the sale agreement says that it will be vacated of all the furniture and equipment prior to the sale.
Right.
Sorry, I have one more question to follow up, and then I'll yield the floor. Would money for renovation come from the feds? Would that be CDBG? Where would the money come? Make sure it's not our general fund
So
money.
we do have some money left over from the American Rescue, approximately $800,000, somewhere in that area, that has been sitting, so that was the plan to use that. I do want to remind the board that you also put in the budget a $1 million one-time, which we're hoping to use that to purchase some pallets, and you also put in about $310,000 on an annual basis for a not-for-profit to help with their operation costs.
But I thought some of that was going to, for the times, when the time came. So I don't want to be shooting ourselves in the foot to not get that problem.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Mr. Mariano?
Thank you. So let me get back to, as far as the appraised value was $790,000.
Right.
Then the land was worth $240,000. So Andrew, let's talk about the building and the $550,000.
Yep.
You said a 4-point inspection was done. What things going to be need to be done to that building? And what's the cost going to be?
So the 4-point inspection is very basic, because that's really making sure that it has the right roof clips and things like that. The full inspection report noted things like the flat roof is damaged, the exterior wall cladding, the stucco on the right side was damaged. The decks and balconies and stairways to the second floor were in disrepair. The tree limbs and bushes were in contact with roof siding and need to be trimmed. The asphalt driveway had cracks and needed repair. The interior stairs and railing, the railing especially has an extra wide railing, and it does not meet current code. So it was recommended that that be reconfigured in some way. There were several windows that were noted that were in disrepair. Let's see, the plumbing, the showers and baths in the upstairs were considered not up to today's standards. They were in working condition, but they definitely need to be renovated. Hot water systems, fuses, the water heater is at end of life expectancy. It's at 10 to 12 years. And then in the service electrical box, the panel is located in the laundry room and needs to be updated.
Wouldn't that fail the 4-point inspection?
It passed the 4-point inspection.
Even with the fuse box, I'm not. So we're going to spend a whole lot of money, and you don't have any calculation of what it's going to cost to repair these things to bring them up to code?
So again, that wasn't part of what we were asked to do at this point. We are really just facilitating a real estate transaction, not any estimates for repair or replacement at this point.
Okay. So if I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to put a sale out that's going to go make an offer on the house, I'm going to have a home inspection done. When the home inspection is done, I then go back, and if I see some major things that need to be done, I'm going to negotiate those. So if my appraisal numbers are these, but there's more work to be done that doesn't meet it, I'm going to make a lower offer on that property. Right now, the way this contract's written, we don't have that capability. So not knowing what the costs are going to be is scary, and frankly, I think we should have gone to get those costs. You know, what's the water heater cost? What's the cost going to be to fix the stairways, and whatever issues are out there. Having said that, to use American Rescue money, where we can use it on other things, I don't think is the best way to go about it either. This is to tell people with drug problems especially, we should be using opioid money as well. So the whole boundary of this whole thing goes. What I would like to see at this point is I would like to add the conditioning that we can do an inspection, add in for flexibility to make a lower offer. They can always reject it. But right now, without having any of these numbers, I'm not comfortable moving forward with it the way it's set up. As far as the Times building goes, I mean, that could go on. I think, frankly, you know, Congressman LaRocque has been phenomenal working with us to try to make it happen. But I think we should even grab our senators to go put pressure on whatever agencies control what this is going on. Because right now, the Times people are going to make more money the more property it sells for, as Kathy was telling me. So it's going to be a tougher negotiation than what it's going to be even a year and a half ago we first started working on it.
Okay. First, Mr. Waitman, and then Ms. Yeager.
Thank you, Chair. So the long-term funding of this site for rehabbing the site and maintenance, so we have a one-time $1 million allocation, which seems is going to run out pretty quick. And then the $310,000, that's just an arbitrary allocation that we're pulling from the general fund.
I wouldn't say that it's arbitrary. I mean, that's based on some like cost that we think it's going to cost to operate the facility on an annual basis. So we would bring in a contract not-for-profit operator. They're going to have expenses, and so we would look to supplement those expenses to help on the operating side. But yes, it would be general fund to answer your question.
Waitman, a few years ago, we did do a study with some not-for-profits. We just didn't throw that number out of the air. We got information from some other not-for-profits to see what it would cost. And that's how that number came up. So.
Well, thank you for that level of detail. This type of detailed long-term maintenance, and it's kind of important here, right? Mm-hmm. So over 300, so about, you're estimating on average it's going to cost $310,000 on the county side if we have a good operating partner a year to run this facility.
Yes.
Yeah. And that would, when our $310,000 would cover, we don't know yet.
Could cover the light bill. It could cover. I mean, Kathy, you can speak to
it would
what
cover.
The details are.
So,
I asked because you mentioned there was an RFP,
if it
right?
comes up with
So,
$400,000 to run the facility, the county is only going to commit to $310,000 to run it. You'll have to come up with the rest of it.
so how's that RFP written?
The RFP will be written that way.
Okay.
Ms. Yeager?
My question was kind of answered, but so is there any way to kind of get an estimate of how much all these repairs are going to be? Just so we kind of know what we're getting into. And then the timeline, what was the date where we have to use the money?
Right.
Was it end of July?
We were hoping to use it by July 26th is when the schedule, hopefully closing would be. And to answer your question on how much it would cost, I'm pretty sure we were talking about whether it'd be economically better to tear that down. And pallet homes, they have pallet homes where you can bring in, and they have all the one-stop big pallet homes where they can do their dining and their laundry and all that. We can look at that too. And so that was going to be our main thing right now was to get the location and then detail those figures. As Andrew told me, it was going to be $25,000, $50,000 to demolish that probably. Probably we can get pallet homes, maybe Pollard, I'm thinking less than 100,000 for something of that sort, that would have the wiring in it. So there's a lot that can be done. We would just really want to attack the property and then worry about the building later and how that best economic would be used.
Okay,
Does that
so
make
basically
sense?
you just want the flexibility, you just want to secure the land and the flexibility of whatever's more cost effective.
Ms.
Yes.
Starkey.
Okay.
Okay, I'm feeling a little better now because the pallet homes are movable. And I've seen those at NACO. They were at FAC as well. And William Crozier, if you remember William Crozier from the White House, he's involved with those pallet homes. And they're wonderful. And they can set them up and take them down very quickly. They're hurricane proof. Everyone gets their own room, you know, their own bed, some air conditioning, a dresser, and they can lock it, and they got their own place. And if I would almost advocate for tearing that building down and then purchasing the larger pallet for the wraparound services, because then we can move it. Although there are buildings at the Times building that we could use that are in good condition, but that's not, you know, we may need some services on the other side of the county. So whatever we buy can be moved somewhere else. And how much money are we going to lose if we don't spend it by July 29th?
I don't think Marcy will lose the money. I think she's trying to show the feds that she's spending a certain percentage of money by August 1st. So if she doesn't, there could be a possibility that they would take it. This would help her percentage to purchase this. So I just want to show that.
And how much is that money that she?
So she was going to use the 775 to purchase this building.
From her allocation?
Community Development Block Grant.
Is that SHIP? SHAR?
Community Development Block Grant. It's the
CDBG.
CDBG.
All right.
And Marcy, if you're on, correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm surprised she's not here, frankly, actually.
I just pulled it up, the pallet home. It looks really.
No,
they're cool.
It's a great program.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm comforted in the number of 50, because if we put more than that on here, the site is not that big, and we don't want to overwhelm the community. AmSkills is nearby and Metropolitan Ministries for job training, daycare. Oh no, this is only for single men and single women, correct? This is a low barrier shelter.
If we can unmute Marcy, she is on, so if we have any direct questions. So I just want to make sure I get the funding correctly. Marcy, if you're there.
Yes, Marcy Esper, Director of Community Development, and Kathy's right, it's the Community Development Block Grant, and it is for single men and single women.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
So Marcy, can you just explain why by July 26th?
So in using the Community Development Block Grant funds, on August 1st, that comes into our line of credit. It's kind of like our bank account for CDBG, and they want to see how much money we've spent. And due to several circumstances like COVID and all the additional money we got in for COVID and paying off our Section 108 loan and a number of other factors, we've been a little bit slow to spend our CDBG money. We have several projects. You mentioned the Times building. We have sidewalks. We have lots of projects that are in the works, but a little bit slow to perform. So when they look at our line of credit, they are seeing that we have more money than we should.
Yeah.
And so by spending this money, it shows HUD that we're in good faith using the funds that they've given us to improve our community.
Chair?
Yes.
Thanks, Marcy. If for whatever reason, if we were to ask for a continuance on this so we understand the cost, the long-term cost associated with this site and actual maintenance and rehab costs, what we're actually truly looking at here, and we moved it to August, would the HUD folks have an issue with that?
Well, they wouldn't have an issue, but it wouldn't help. We would not be spending the money. So when they look on August 1st, they're not gonna say, oh, that's okay, you continued it. They're just gonna say, oh, I saw that the money wasn't spent.
So they're not going to yank it then necessarily in August?
We're not gonna get more than.
Until
Affects our
until we
allocation.
spend more.
Well, that's another year.
Yeah, but the taxpayers'
Yeah,
long-term cost
they
is
would
way
be looking at
higher
it again
than
until
what we're
August,
getting
and
from
there is-
the Fed. And that's my concern is the county taxpayers' investment is going to be significantly higher than what we're getting from the Fed.
Well, that's no matter where the location is.
It's not
Although, wasn't that 331 for more pallets than 50?
I'm not following that, Commissioner, so.
No, I want to tap in on what Commissioner Waitman was
Yeah.
talking about. Marcy, for clarification, I think the Commissioner's point is if we delay a vote on this, notwithstanding the contract issues, you could still spend CBDG money in August. It would just be from a current year pot or a different pot or not. I mean, we still have that money available.
We could still spend the money. The key with timeliness and Chairman Oakley, you might even be one to get a letter from HUD that says we did not meet their timeliness deadline of getting the money spent. And there's always a chance, and Kathy Pearson was on a call with HUD with me, that they can remove the money that we have not spent and take it back. And there's always that opportunity for them to do that.
And
that is why we'd like to show them that we're spending the money, because that would be less, number one, less money for them to take away, and number two, again, showing that in good faith we are putting the money to projects and to the needs in our community.
And Marcy, just to add to that, you were holding some of this money aside for the Times building, anticipating that we were going to hopefully buy that and make this deadline. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen, so then this project came through, correct?
That's exactly right.
A question, is it possible that we could reduce our offer with the cash close quick or something that makes it more advantageous, and this board could say cut 50,000, cut 100,000 off of it, and try and make something happen?
The way the offer is written right now, it was contingent upon the appraisal. And if the appraisal did not come at or above the agreed value, then we could negotiate. But because the appraisal did come at or above the appraised value or the negotiated value, there's no opportunity for renegotiation at this point. There is one other consideration, though, for as part of the agreement, if the vote, and I'll read it, if this agreement is not approved by the Pasco County Board of Commissioners at said date, which is 7/9, seller may terminate the agreement by providing written notice to the buyer within 5 days. So we really are, we've kind of locked ourselves into this board meeting with this agreement. Now, I would like to take an opportunity to talk about operational costs.
Before you change subject.
Sure, no problem.
If we get out of it, I mean, how many people are knocking on the door to buy this thing? If we say no, and we're the only one interested, we're back at the negotiating table. I mean, you bound the board into something without knowing where we were, and I don't necessarily agree with that.
So we did put an offer in at high 600s. I don't remember the exact figure. It was high 600s, and they did have another offer at that time. And then we did the appraisal, and it did come back, and the woman has owned that property for many, many years. She runs the ALF. She's 80 years old, and she really she loved the purpose of what we were using it for. So she did say she wanted to sell it to us. So I will tell you, I don't know if it was true they had another offer, but that's what they told us, and that's how we settled on. We did come in, I think, at 670 or 680, somewhere in that area.
I'm gonna say, I've been, watching this area, and as I said, I've been looking for property, scouring for someone who's looking for some acreage for another purpose. There's not a lot out there anymore. And I think that church has been bought, that was on Darlington. Because I drive by there on the way to Amskills all the time, and someone's in there, and the sign is gone. So, because we were gonna suggest this property. I'm really torn on what to do.
Mr. Chairman?
I think we
Mr.
need the
Cabral.
shelter, personally.
Mr. Cabral.
So I can appreciate the conversation surrounding the condition of the facility. As Andrew said, that has been factored into the appraisal. Case in point is your comps, right? $2 million for a like facility somewhere else. We may or we may not use the facility. That's going to depend upon the operator that gets in there, and we're going to need to make that decision. The single most important thing right now today in making the decision is where we place this. The board has expressed a desire to do something about the homelessness issue. We have the opportunity, and that's why we have brought this to you in the manner that we have done. Kathy and the team and Andrew's team have done a good job of negotiating. We've brought it in at an appraised value that is fair considering the market. People buy homes all the time, and they do tear downs. They do. But like I've mentioned before, location is important in this. We are in an industrial area. We are close to services. We are close to public transportation. We are not in a neighborhood. And for something like this to succeed, the location is probably your first step in trying to assuage any sort of public debate or discussion on it. So it's my recommendation that we go with the location. If the board wants to direct us to do something else, we certainly will, but we will be starting over again.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
When I hear the arguments about CDBG funds they use for it, we have got so many projects for sidewalks been sitting for 15, 20 years that haven't been done. And Zimmerman, Ranch Road, projects that have moved along that could get funded by the same CDBG funds to take care of those folks who have been waiting that long. So I don't really want to focus on CDBG. Frankly, it's back to opioid money again where we should be using it. The thing you've got to look at right now, the contract, the way it's written, the decision's got to be made today one way or the other, right? Otherwise it expires, or could expire, I should say. So what you've got to look at is the land is worth $240,000 by appraisal. By appraisal, the building's worth $550,000. If we're talking about all the repairs to be done, what we would think that value would be worth, the appraisal doesn't factor, I don't think, all that stuff in because we don't even know the numbers. How did they know the numbers? You'd have to look at this property being worth an extra, from the 240, an extra $600,000 to buy the property. So the board's got to pretty much weigh, do you want to pay $425,000 an acre to buy this property? Is it that important for this location at this number? Or maybe we could continue this till the end of day, give a chance to have our real estate team go talk with them about giving us a flexibility to do a full appraisal, get an addendum to the contract that they've got, that we can actually go and extend it out further, give us 2 weeks to go through it and bring it back. We're still in a good time frame for CDBG if you want to go that way, but at the same time, you can make a good business decision. Right now, if you're going to make a decision, you're basing it upon, from what I can see, we're going to overpay by $600,000 just to get this property. It's a decision you could make. I'm not comfortable with it.
Andrew, you have something to add?
So, again, Mr. Carvalho really highlighted it, but the operational cost is $310,000 per year. That would be the outlay for the county. If I were to take off my real estate side of our facilities management department and put on my construction and renovation side hat, I would estimate that if we were to reuse that facility, that it would either cost the county or the operator, it would cost them probably $200,000 to $300,000 in renovation costs to that structure. Now, again, that is their decision as the operator. In my personal opinion, if I were to make the recommendation, if the county was doing this right now, my recommendation would be tear the building down and build something that would be purpose-built for that. Or with the pallets, and then, or if you need some sort of a classroom, you could do that with a trailer, especially with the idea that we may not make this a permanent type facility. We could do something like that. That is very similar to what I was very fortunate to be able to go with Kathy and some of the other team members to Pinellas Hope and Tampa Hope. And that is very similar, especially at Pinellas Hope, to the way they're running that facility. And it was pretty impressive, honestly.
Question, Kathy, on the what was the number, 351 a year?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
What was the number that you got that we would be putting towards the management?
I think it's about 310,000.
Wasn't that for the Time site?
That was for, you didn't designate it for
What's it
any
ba-
site.
what's it
was
based
for a
on?
homeless initiative. That's
Okay.
what the BPI was.
Based on a population of how many?
Well, we're thinking and we're hoping we can probably get 50 to 60 pallet homes on there. If they double up, that could be close to 100.
Okay. Well, I thought we were talking about 150 at the other site, and here we're talking about 50. So wouldn't that number go down?
Yeah, the commissioner's point is it's scalable, whatever your initial assumption was,
So
Kathy.
we didn't write it in regards to what that, I mean, I'll tell you, the operations over at the Youth Lane for 9 families is well over $300,000, just for 9 families there. So this was the allocation we just said we would pay up to.
And to Commissioner Mariano's point, can any of this be paid for by the opioid money rather than general fund?
So right now, the answer is no to that because we don't know who the not-for-profit that's going to run it, and you do have to have some opioid, substance abuse, mental health issue with it. In the future, if this, like, if I know Tampa Hope has hired their own mental health counselors, they could possibly put in to pay for some mental health counselors. But at this moment, not right now, because we don't know who's going to operate it and how it's going to be run. So the answer is no. And Paula, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, and last question, and it was brought up
We need
here.
to do something with this.
I know. Well, this is a big discussion. It's the first one ever in
Well,
the county, so it's not an easy discussion.
We're either going to delay it or make an action here, so.
It was brought up that this is close to the Pinellas County line, and you know, we've had this discussion here, and I've heard it from my constituents in Holiday, that they've literally seen homeless people being dropped off at our border by officials from other cities and counties. How will we be sure that we're serving only our residents? Because we have enough on our own.
That's a really good question, and those were questions that we had when we visited these other homeless shelters. Pasco Hope, Tampa Hope, Mayor Castor made sure they're only serving Hillsborough County, Tampa, City of Tampa residents. So we will put that in the scope. We'll make sure that that's in the scope of works, and we will make sure that that happens.
Chairman?
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to continue this item to the end of the day, especially after hearing Mr. Baxter talk about, his professional opinions to pay $775,000 for a piece of land and then bulldoze it. I think the nature of this conversation truly is, to Commissioner Marion's point, a business decision that we have to make. And then we need to know, truth. If we're going to knock it down, are we going to be paying to build the building? Do we have a partner to build the building? So then we're at we own the land and then they own the building. There's a lot of variables here. And I need more of a business case for me personally. I don't want to say no, but I think it'd be wise that we continue this until we get some more facts and figures.
I second the motion.
Okay.
As long as, no.
No.
No. Your
So-
opportunity for public comment was during public comment.
The announcement was to be on consent.
No.
I didn't have the opportunity to have that knowledge before I chose not to.
Okay, we got a motion and a second,
And we're gonna bring it back at the end of the day?
end of the day.
Because I'm gonna find out what we paid for Amskill's property down the street
Okay.
5
All right.
years ago.
So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, like sign. Hearing none, it passed 5-0 to carry this to the end of the day. All right, we'll break now for lunch and we'll recess and then come back at 1:30.
other discharges are illegal. If you suspect